Hello, my name is Jessica Fay, and this is my channel, These Bonds I Break. And you can also find me on my website, which is where I am right now today, screen sharing with you from my website. Also, you can find that at thesebondsibreak.com. Just punch that or type that into the URL and it'll bring you to my website. It's still a work in progress, this website, and I'm hooking up community forums and other different features. But today I thought I would share with you one of my blog posts. And before I get into that, I'll just say that if I can, I will be on camera more in front of you and talk to you about narcissistic abuse, which is an epidemic, a pandemic in our world right now. And so many of you are in lockdowns, trapped with a narcissist, trapped with an abuser, a toxic person, whether that toxic person in your life is your boss or a child or a parent or a spouse. It's very difficult. Narcissists are unreasonable. You can't reason with them. And the only thing you can do is empower yourself. There's nothing else you can do. Learn about narcissism so you can see when it's happening to you, and learn about how to empower yourself, how to give yourself to validate your own truth, because they will try to twist everything on you. So that's about all you can really do, is learn to cope and navigate. But often we get what's called post-traumatic stress disorder or complex post-traumatic stress disorder from long-induced trauma, being stuck in a toxic situation. When you can't get out of a situation like that, the body becomes sick, both physically, emotionally, and mentally. So you could also end up getting different illnesses, including autoimmune disease. So it's best, if you can, to get away from that environment and never look back. But that's not always possible. So sometimes we're stuck in it. So on my blog and on my new YouTube channel, I'll be talking a lot about narcissism, other people's experiences, my own experiences I know about and have heard, what I have learned taking a course to become a life coach to help people through this kind of trauma. I've taken courses both for complex post-traumatic stress disorder and a course specifically for dealing with narcissistic abuse that leads to complex trauma. So I will have so many different topics, and so stick around, because I like to tackle it from different avenues. Sometimes I tell the stories like sort of in a funny way. Sometimes they're my stories, sometimes they're someone else's. I take you through that story, right? Sometimes I just tell it plainly, like today, what I'm about to do now. So yeah, I don't dice and slice my videos. I don't make them perfect. If I make a mistake, so what? And if there's errors in my blog posts, it's because I did the editing or it auto-corrected wrong, and I'm not great at that, but I do have an editor. And the good posts are when he's edited my posts. And for a while there, his computer wasn't working, and now it is. I have a post that's been waiting that he has done for me that I need to get up. So anyways, click the bell, click the notification. If you have a question you want to ask me, if you have a topic you want me to discuss, let me know about it. If you have a question even, I could make an entire video about it, specifically for you. What can I do for you? What do you need to know? Share with me your story in the comments. If you want to share your story and submit it to me and have me put it on my blog and read it and put it on YouTube, I'll do that too. So different ways. I do believe my email address is also attached to the YouTube channel. I'm kind of tired right now, so I can't remember it. I know it's These Bonds I Break. I think it's at yahoo.com. But double check. I think it's attached in the About section to my YouTube channel. So this one today is a true story about me. And this was an unusual thing that happened after I was married to my husband. And just so you know, I've been married more than once. I also had parents that were narcissists and abusers. Um, I know what it's like to have to flee a narcissistic relationship, how complicated that is, being stalked and hunted down, even held captive, even to have my life tried to be. They've tried to take my life. Um, I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have to plan for many, many, many years. With my ex-husband, my daughter and I, we had to plan for so long. We thought we would never get out, and finally we did. Um, so this is a story with one of my husbands, and after I got married, this is what happened. And it's called The Narcissist Who Took Pictures of Everything Else But Me. And there we have a little picture of the narcissist taking pictures of all the scenery around. And I'm just going to read it with you and share it with you. My own personal true story. There I was, a newlywed, still young and attractive, and my new husband refused to take a picture of me for an entire year. Even when he did start taking pictures of me, because I was video blogging and becoming popular on Instagram with my teacup poodle, he used those opportunities to verbally and mentally abuse me when taking pictures or videos for my vlog. I had just healed from a lifetime of feeling very unattractive because of abuse in my life, even though everyone thought I was very good looking. I could not see it. This stemmed all the way back to abuse as a child as to why I felt this way. So I'm just going to interject here. When we learn how to have introspection into ourselves and into the psychology of ourselves and other people, we can sometimes look back and see what the trigger for a problem we have now is. And so I can pinpoint exactly when I was about 4 or 5 years old, maybe between 4 and 8, how I started to develop a problem with not thinking I was very beautiful, and it stemmed from the abuse and everything, and having this mirror in my bedroom, and after being abused, crying, in the mirror. And I think that's part of also how I developed something called body dysmorphic disorder as well, really bad in my teen years and in my 20s, kind of battled that off and on. So we will learn about that, but introspection and understanding how people work and how we ourselves work, we can start to unravel the mysteries of ourselves and others. I was always a shy and extremely timid little girl. I was an only child as well. And I took that with me most of my life. And I was abused in every way by my parents, who were narcissists, both of them. I was never confident in front of the camera, whether it was pictures or video. Many people thought I should be a model, but that was definitely not the kind of job I could do. So here I was with my guard down because I finally felt self-worth and confidence in myself. I wondered, because I took a long time to heal after leaving the other abusive people, and I finally was getting there. I wondered why my husband would not take a picture of me. There I was, looking beautiful for him in front of the river canal with the sun coming down on my beautiful hair, highlighting its colors, and he's taking pictures of all the scenery around me. Let me add right beside me. Yeah, it says that. And right beside me. First, I thought he was taking pictures of me, but nope, he wasn't. If I even mentioned the smallest phrase alluding to wishing he would have taken a picture of me, he would get upset and get narcissistic and abusive. To find out what a narcissist is, I have a video up about that. And also I have a video on the 20 signs you're with a narcissist. But he would take pictures and video of family and even a female friend who came over one night right in front of me while we were playing a game, takes out his phone and is videotaping her. Right after we married, he posted pics, should be at 2, Facebook, of us. And then we went on a trip to Victoria, BC, and he made a video of me by the ocean that was so pretty, and he refused to post it on Facebook. This was the start of him never doing it again for an entire year. I think eventually he might have put that up or took it down, or nothing makes sense with narcissists. But and then it got to the point where there was never a picture for a year or a video. No matter what a narcissist's excuse is or what he says, you can't believe him or her. You have to look at patterns. How many times have they lied to you before and you caught them? How many times did they hurt you before? You have to understand psychology and body language. You have to have introspection into yourself and your own life. Whether a narcissist does something deliberately or unknowingly because he's conditioned to be that way since a child, and that's for some of them, it's always about jealousy and trying to knock you off your pedestal, making you feel worthless so that you will stay with them. It's about control. And I don't know if I get into it here because I haven't gone over it in many weeks, but it's also about what's called narcissistic supply. They need your energy and power from you. They feel great when they make you feel terrible. And this is a picture I found of that sort of look that all narcissists can give you with that little smirk, right? You all know that look. It's a cold look. They're getting supply from you. That smirk is there because they feel they've got you and they've just taken from you again. My mother used to stare at me like that all the time when I was a little girl too. She'd sit in this beehive chair of hers. It was a wicker chair and it looked like a queen royalty chair, and she'd sit there with her legs crossed and stare at me like that with that exact smirk. I remember having pictures of her looking at me like that. You can see it in a narcissist's eyes. They get a kick out of making you feel like you are a worthless slug fit to be squashed under their shoe. You can see that evil grin and that twinkle in their eyes. They just love getting any reaction from you. This is why many people turn to using a tactic called gray rocking, in which you take all of the narcissist's supply from them and cut them off from it completely in every way, shape, and form. Thus, you make yourself boring and dull in every area of your life and in every situation for the narcissist, and you hope he or she will move on to his next supply. But be very careful. This tactic can get you physically hurt by certain types of narcissists. This tactic, though, does often work in getting the narcissist to move on eventually if you can keep it up. It's important to always follow your gut feeling. And my gut feeling was telling me that this was done to deliberately make me believe I wasn't that pretty or good looking or worth any love, appreciation, or value. He had made a lot of remarks that went along with that. Things like, you're not a 10 but a 5. Narcissists are usually very jealous of you. If they're good looking, they want everyone to know it. And if they're charming, they want everyone to know it. Certain types are the loudest and the shiniest in the room, and there's no way that even if they want eye candy, you as the eye candy on their arm, that they are going to let you shine, because you must realize your place. You are not good enough. They are always better, always right, and they know everything. A lot of people in my life assumed that I knew I was good looking and that I needed to be knocked down a few pegs. Many men in our society are programmed to think that way, but this was not the case at all. I had developed something called body dysmorphic disorder from abuse since I was a child. When I looked in the mirror, I only saw ugliness, and there was a good reason for that too. Here I finally found value in myself, but my husband's goal was to destroy that. I could never bring it up and talk about the pictures never taken. I was never allowed to ask the question, why will you not take a picture of me, without a fight. But one day, after a year had gone by, I decided no matter the cost, I was going to confront him on this matter. It was dark at night, and my husband had just gone into Starbucks to get some coffees while I waited in the vehicle in the parking lot. When he got in the vehicle, I told him I had something very important I wanted to talk about. Just that sentence alone triggered him, and it usually does, so look for patterns. The sentence, I have something very important I want to talk to you about. It was already a losing situation because you could see the ice-cold stare come over his face as he sat there in the dark staring at me like a demonic soul with no feeling except malice. Those eyes threatening me as if to threaten my very life. Regardless, I pressed forward and asked him, "Why don't you take pictures of me? You take pictures of everything else around us, the scenery, but never me. It's been over a year now, and I wonder why you're not wanting to take pictures of the woman you proclaim to love. It hurts my feelings." There's that stare in the dark. It's exactly what I saw. Excuse me for a drink. You all know that stare. The funny thing is narcissists do the same thing all the time. All of them do. All types of narcissists. It's textbook, and yet they don't even need to read that book, or you wonder if they went to school to learn this stuff. They all act the same. So you all know that stare. Well, I can tell you that for the next hour in the dark, he yelled, screamed, and swore at me. I couldn't even hear any longer what he was saying. The shock was so horrible that someone could react so vilely. All I could think about is how other men love taking pictures of me, and here's one who's definitely up to something that is sinister. I was no pushover. I was no dummy. I had been through abuse my whole life. I have a wonderful gift and the ability to understand who truly is trying to hurt me. This is not love. Love does not behave this way. How could someone be so upset with their wife for this? I'm sure there are many more things to be upset with your wife for that are valid. Heck, I had met tons of women in my life who were terrible, and this was terrible in his eyes? And no, I can't tell you what he said because trauma that is too hard for the brain to process will block that out until the time is right when you can process it. It may come flooding back to you later, and you may remember the entire conversation. Or it may be blocked for a lifetime. Some people have blocked memories and for 50 years or something, and then suddenly those memories are unlocked. Of course, usually when someone spends an hour yelling and swearing at you and verbally, mentally, and psychologically abusing you, you tend to tune out, especially if it's over something so damn ridiculous as that. Is this how you feel? That is how I feel, or how I felt at the time, and that's how you probably feel having to deal with narcissists. Inconsequential was a word that used to often go through my mind, and the word not good enough. 2 words I looked up on the internet, and they helped me find, lo and behold, I ended up learning about narcissistic abuse. That's what came up. Did I regret that night? Well, maybe at the moment, but not today. I would do it a million times over because I finally decided I'm not going to let anyone do these things to me without shining a light right back at them for their abuse when I feel and deem it necessary. But that must be a personal decision for you with your own personal circumstances. Maybe you have no friends, family, or help, and maybe your abuser is now physical with you, like physically abusing you. And it could mean your life. That's something I have lived through and will talk about later. Did he finally start taking pictures of me after this? Yes, he did. Because the narcissist will change once you shine a light on them. The jig is up. The abuse will move to a different facet of your life, and they will try to change to hide the abuse so you don't notice where in your life it now lingers and waits for you. So they give the appearance of change, but the abuse moves on to a different facet of your life. But it was noticeable to me that every time I posed for a picture or video, he had something to say about it off camera. Things like, "You're certainly no model. You're certainly no professional at this." And I would say, "Of course I'm no model. I've never been a model, and I never will be. I don't understand why you're talking to me like this, or why you're talking like this to me. You're hurting my feelings." Then the abuse starts. The narcissistic abuse of cycles, because I spoke up. It starts, it's often a fight as soon as you speak up for yourself. They hate that. Just the simple word, you'll learn that certain things trigger them, like just saying, "You're hurting my feelings," or "Can we talk about something?" He finally did stop altogether and started taking pictures without being abusive. But again, he just changed where in our life he would next start up trouble. Now, to this day, it's hard for me to be in front of a camera or a video camera. But it wasn't just him that caused this. There were some other abusers before that. You see, something the Bible talks about is love, and it is impossible for love to hurt others. You can guarantee if someone is always trying to deliberately hurt you when no one's around and no one's looking, or even if they are, they do not have love for you. You have to understand this in order to break free. You have to really get the sense of this, or you will continue to your own demise until you reach rock bottom. You only have two choices: believe their lies and always try to please them, or even if you can't break free physically, break free mentally and don't fall for their bull crap. This way, you can stay grounded in your truth and keep your sanity. Now let's break these bonds together. Okay, I'm trying to grab a thought that I had that I wanted to say about this. Let me just see. Oh, yes. So I keep talking about how I'm not comfortable in front of the camera or in front of video. But the thing that's really good for you to do, because like we often develop things like agoraphobia, social phobia, all kinds of anxiety disorders. And the best thing you can do is break out of your bubble. So you have to go out of your comfort zone. You have to get used to doing and becoming what you want and do what you want. Because if you just stay scared in that little bubble, you'll always be that. So you want to push forward, and you should make a video about your experience, or just make a video going for a walk and showcasing your town, or if you're like me and you live in the woods, showcase the woods, throw it up on social media, because it's very good for you. Now, we don't want to become constant selfie takers and selfie lovers and become narcissistic ourselves and all caught up in ourselves in that way. So we want to keep balance and learn balance. But it certainly can be healthy for you to do these things and learn to have balance in your life and not let it spill over into an area that's now not healthy for you, which so many people are doing too. And so anyways, that is that topic for today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, again, hit the notification bell so you get notifications. Subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and let people know to come on over and see what I have to say. Let me know what I can do for you. Can I be of any service or help to you? Do you have any questions? Thanks so much for being here. Until next time, talk to you later.